Thank you very much. Now, I have a question, Mr. Shad. If you remember, we went to London, both of us, and we brought our daughter, Raisa, and it was amazing at that time. What I remember, what happened was most children have a problem in translating an abstract concept to a more like visual concept. I remember when I was learning math a long time ago, physics and chemistry, is that whenever I have to do a problem with its writing problem, it's always a big challenge for me to do it because from understanding what I read, I kind of have to translate it to what it means, like putting in the numbers and everything, putting formulas, and then getting to the results. But again, the challenge again from the result, I kind of have to explain to my teacher what actually went, well, what actually happened there. I mean, how did I get to the results? And that's kind of like when I was with you with our daughter, you had this system of explaining Raisa the very basic concepts for her to be able to do math a lot better. So I have a question. The question was, what differentiates Karis math compared to the existing math system they have here, such as Kumon and Montessori and like IB math, Cambridge math, as well as what's the other one? There's Singapore math. You know.
Um, Kumon, Cambridge, Singapore math, and IB math, and what else? Montessori. These are all systems. These are all ways of teaching mathematics, and they're all good. Kumon, which started in the 1940s or 50s, still around. I mean, they've adapted and changed, but they follow a way of thinking which is very traditional, which is based on knowing how to do calculations with speed and accuracy. Primarily that, and nothing more, nothing to do with concepts. Similarly, Montessori, it's a way of approaching mathematics. And if you have to add using the Montessori method, it's usually multisensory and work great for young kids. And so all of these are good. Singapore math, especially, I take it out of the list because it's a especially good program. It jives with the way I think and I feel about mathematics. It has visual depictions of concepts that are distilled down into essential visual symbols or visual. Mathematics is an area where it's like a stick, a dry stick. You plant it on fertile soil, it'll sprout leaves. And it doesn't matter where it is. As long as the soil is fertile, this stick is going to sprout leaves. So mathematics programs are like that. It's going to work well for somebody, somewhere, sometime. I don't have any problems with any programs. All I can say is that Chris math is different. It's different because, first of all, it teaches in a way that the mind learns. We know a lot more about mathematical thinking today than we did 100 years ago. And the more we know about it, the more we evolve and develop ways of teaching. And so Chris math is based on a lot of research on how the brain processes numbers, how the brain reasons with numbers. And that sort of reasoning and processing and recalling and retrieving and calculating and computing and going beneath the numbers, behind the numbers, to understand the kind of thinking that makes people organize numerical information in a certain way, that's really all that mathematics is about. It's a certain set of procedures, not just finding the answers, but what is it you do, or rather, more importantly, how is it you think to be able to do what you do to be able to get to a solution. And it's going backtracking into that way of thinking that I try to capture, that we try to put into Keras math. And once you get to the source, the way you think about a problem, then it's just easier to move into a certain track of thinking. And if that thinking is mathematical, you're onto something. And that's what kids need to experience. That's what teachers need to experience. And that's what Curse Math does, is to introduce a way of thinking to go behind the numbers. So what I'm trying to say, I think, is that it supports all programs. Curse Math is different because it's entirely visual, it's audio-visual, it uses animations to unravel concepts, distill mathematical concepts down to its essentials, and you don't need a high degree of linguistic competence, you don't need to be great at language, it has very minimal print, it's all visual. Everything comes out visually, and you start to understand how mathematical concepts are linked and connected and how they grow out of an architecture that's inside mathematics. And it's a beautiful architecture. Great place to start understanding math from inside, and you grow outwards. And it's that kind of unraveling of mathematical concepts, in a sense, also helps you unravel your own thinking as you try to pursue something like a hare, a rabbit. It's running, and you want to go where you want to know where it leads to. And that's how you chase an idea in mathematics. And it makes you curious. I mean, where's this going to go next? And you want to know. So Charismath, Math, in a sense, arouses a certain curiosity. And so you go into the world of problem solving. And you find you have the tools to be able to solve problems. Interesting problems. Problems that become more like kind of puzzles that are accessible to your imagination. You can reach those puzzles. You can get to the solution. You feel it's there. You know how to think about it. And the moment you feel you know how to think about it, you want to solve that puzzle. And it's that motivation to do something that you couldn't do before. And when you do it, you feel better. And that's what makes things happen. That's what arouses an interest in mathematics. And Charismath, I think, does make people interested in what comes next. They want to know more. I think Charismath puts the soul into the math. Just like the Dolby system. You have all kind of music, but you plug in the Dolby system, somehow the sound is all enhanced. And you see another dimension to sound, and you say, wow, that sounds nice. So you can go back from Charismath to anything you want, and it'll feel more alive, more impregnated with meaning.